We're here. Episode 4 of Wom. Word of mouth. We need a sound effect with that. With Griffin Levy. That's the right pronunciation.
It is.
Levi.
I didn't know that till about a month ago. And I've been friends with you for longer than 1 month.
Quite longer.
A little bit longer than 1 month. Oh man. Hey, shout out to Yacht Club. Yacht spelled Y-O-T for this opening track we have today. Slept on Band. They had a concert in Birmingham a few months ago. Really missed out on missing that one. Yeah. Also, Griffin, one thing that people definitely need to know about you is Willis is your favorite band, and you willingly skipped the Willis concert last week.
Well, I willingly asked two of my producer friends over here to let me know if they were going, and they did not respond.
Wow. The producers Sam and Jake have the producers hands in the air.
Jake was on a date. That was his excuse.
Wait, Jake, you're on a date? Already back.
Girlfriend flex.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Girlfriend flex.
Hey, rumor has it there's a date in the future coming for Griff.
That's what I've heard.
You can't argue with it. There will be a date in the future at some point for you.
Probably.
Yeah.
Unless you vow to celibacy right now, there will be a date in the future.
One thing that Gracie and I were talking about yesterday, Gracie, my wife, we were talking about how, like, it's really interesting how whenever you go about, like, getting to know someone and then first date and then, like, dating and then, like, kissing and then saying I love you and then meeting each other's parents and then getting engaged and getting married. There's so many different, like,
You meet their parents
huge, that was my order. But it, like, there's so many huge, like, milestones back to back to back to back to back. And then, like, once you get married, after that, like, there's just kind of like a, what do we do now?
Yeah, it's like kids happen, but that happens usually further down and
Usually.
then,
yeah.
And then everything kind of just becomes about the kids, I feel like, after that.
Anti-birth control listeners are fuming right now, but I respect that. I respect you as well.
Yeah, I have CF, so.
Yeah. But, yeah, Myers is, I don't know what that, to word.
I'm
what
infertile.
Infertile, that's the right word, yeah.
The only way that I will have kids is through, like...
in vitro fertilization.
Did you know I'm an in vitro baby?
Are you serious?
Me and my twin sister.
Wow, you made it, man.
I know.
Congratulations.
Dude, what if me and Claire had twins?
That would be
That'd be
hilarious.
sick.
Claire's such a small human. That would be funny to see her with two
She would
babies.
be equally as out as she's up.
Yeah, be careful.
Wide
with what you say.
as she is tall, but with not in a east-west, but in an east-west in the different orientation.
Uh-huh. That's exactly it.
Okay, so I've never really thought about this, but the Earth, I guess there is like actually, what I'm saying isn't making any sense. There's an east and west on the Earth, and there's a north and a south. But what about the other two directions? Because the Earth is a sphere. That's just elevation. But what do you call that? What do you call the top elevation versus the bottom elevation?
So like the part that sticks out and then the part that goes in as opposed to the this way, that way, that way, that way?
Producer Jake.
It's like depth and height.
Can you look that up for us?
Depth and height?
Depth and height. Yeah,
Are
height.
there more than 4 directions?
What do you call above
So
and
whenever
below?
they released Earth 4D, what was the fourth D?
Yeah, whenever Galileo did the shadow thing, I think that was Galileo that realized that the Earth is round. I don't know.
We might need to fact check that too.
Yeah, some people never bought into that. I heard Sam Edens is a flat earther.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
He looks like one though, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his parents are though, so makes sense.
Sick.
Just slander the whole Edens name. There's nothing on the internet to answer my question. No, you should say there's north and south and east and west, but what about the other two
north,
directions?
South, east, west. What are the other two directions? Apparently there are 6 directions.
I mean, if you think about it, like
above and below.
There has to
That's
be.
what I'm saying, like depth, height, like elevation.
It has to be elevation, but I'm just wondering, like, if there's names for it.
Heaven and hell. Just get real biblical.
That didn't work at all.
I pointed the mic.
Oh, man. All right, but we're here with Griffin. Griffin, tell us who you are. What do we need to know about you?
Oh, man. I like taking pictures. Like taking videos.
Okay.
And I subsequently do that as a job.
Sick.
So, yeah, I...
Hometown?
For Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay.
Go Rangers. World champs.
Macaulay? What's the name of the town?
Colleyville.
Go
Colleyville.
Stars.
Colleyville. Yeah, go Stars.
Colleyville. What's their mascot?
Hey,
That's not the high school I went to, but they're the Panthers.
do you know where Segoville is?
No.
Okay.
I thought that was about to be a punchline. Like,
No. Segoville.
man.
Yeah.
My parents lived there right before I was born. I was born in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
But my parents lived in Segoville, and they can
Is that
never.
in Texas?
It's in the Dallas Fort Worth area. They can never find every
Segoville.
time I meet someone from Dallas or kind of from Texas, I ask them if they know where that is, and they don't know where it is.
I have no idea. It could have gotten changed.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know where it is in relation to anything. I just know that's where they lived when they went to Dallas Theological Seminary there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't say I know where that is.
Wow. DTS.
Texas is a big mystery, though.
It is. Dallas and Fort Worth are massive.
Yeah, especially since Fort Worth definitely lives in the shadows of Dallas. What was that like growing up in a town that lived in the shadows of a bigger city right beside it?
You know, Dallas, like, this might be a hot take, but Dallas sucks.
Wow. You know something that is interesting to me? I feel like I see these hats more and more often. Also, I don't have any hate towards Dallas. I just say that to bug
down ones?
to bug with Griffin. Yes, the hat
don't
of
get it.
Dallas on on an arch, and Dallas is upside down. If anybody knows what that is, please let me know. Whenever I went to
I know what the brand is. I don't know why they make it upside down, though.
Whenever I went to Watermark Church last year, like for that conference thing that I went to, it was like everybody had that on. And I was like, people are proud to be Dallasians.
Dallasians.
What is the proper word for someone from Dallas?
Dallasaians?
A Dallin?
A
I don't even
Dallin.
know.
I think people from Chattanooga, being Chattanoogans, that might be the coolest. That might be the coolest like,
Chattanoogans.
origin name, in my opinion.
I think Austin's is
'Cause,
pretty
like,
good.
Austonians.
Austonian.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That sounds old and Greek.
that's the hat right there.
It's just an ugly looking design. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. It's kind of lazy.
They tried to
I think
make their
it's
city
lazy.
look cooler than what it actually is, and that does not help
It's
at all.
fascinating to me because I don't think that like the design of that communicates anything about Dallas.
Yeah.
But it's like it's definitely caught. It's like a trend there.
There was definitely like a period of time, I think, in design where people kind of took something really simple and then just like skewed it slightly, like turned it upside down or...
They took
Can
something.
you give another example of one time someone's done that, Meyer?
Okay, turned it upside down or like repeated the same word over and over again, like on top of one another.
Yeah, like
Gucci
thank you,
bag.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good day.
Like, yeah, like thank you, thank you, thank you. Or Playboy
Or it's actually have a nice
had like
day.
hoodies that were like Playboy, 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 like over and over and again. That I think that's just kind of lazy design. It's just
Sure.
in your face.
Yeah, because it's like you're from Dallas, so you want to say like Dallas on your stuff, but also like you don't want to just say Dallas. You want it to be upside down
Also,
because it needs to be design.
I don't think I get having merchandise for the place that you're from.
Yeah, I mean
That's fair.
I will say Seasick Records has a shirt right now that says in parentheses I like Birmingham.
Yeah,
And I think
but
that shirt's
that's
hilarious.
like effort. Just having a shirt that said Birmingham.
Have you seen that? Have y'all seen that shirt? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know if I could get behind like people from Birmingham wearing the B Ham shirts. I just don't know about that.
I think about this often when I drive past people in their Subarus and they have like the B Ham sticker and then like a Mom's Basement sticker. It's like a local bar, and then like Yellow Hammer Creative. Like
They
just
like love.
They just have every Birmingham
Birmingham.
thing as
Yeah.
a sticker on their car, and I'm kind of like, dude, calm down. Like,
Yeah,
you live here, we live here, we're all here.
yeah. It's also like I will say the Mom's Basement stickers, like every single one, like when I saw it for the first time, has made me laugh.
They are funny.
Like
I don't have anything against each of those individual stickers. I think it's the culmination.
Yeah.
I'm like, did you never go anywhere else other than here?
Yeah. Especially since your car,
I have stickers all over
you
my
have
car.
stickers from everywhere on your
He
car.
has a Griff sticker in his car.
I do have a Griff
Wow.
sticker.
Yeah. Shout or R.I.P. Griff.
Rip.
Wow. That store was awesome.
I'm still.
Did you ever go there? No, you've never been to Opelika.
Never.
Wow. Shout out Opelika.
It was a cool like denim shop.
Gosh, I
in
love
Opelika.
Opelika.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. Opelika is
That's all.
just the best.
Yeah. I would live there.
I think that what Griff was doing was like one of the coolest things like in America. Like I'm not even lying. Like finding a little small town that like in no way like needs a shop like that, and then she just made like handmade quality goods.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name,
I
but
don't either.
the store was called Griff. I don't remember why it was called Griff
It's
either.
just a good name.
Yeah.
The Carnleys did the graphic work for them.
Of course they did. Shout out Josh. I can't wait to have that man on
He's going to be on
this podcast.
I've already talked to him. He's ready. We
He's
just gotta tell him when.
He's gonna be a good time. Okay, so back to the sticker thing. I have 2 stickers on my car. Griffin, do you have any stickers on your car?
I have 2 stickers on my car.
What do the stickers on your car say?
I have a Sanford sticker on my car.
Respect.
Very
Bow wow.
Yeah, go Bulldogs
I do too.
and Blazers. And then I have a Kanakuk sticker,
Wow.
which is a church I worked at.
That's pretty fascinating.
How is that fascinating?
I wouldn't have pegged you to be like
Seems
a
out of character.
Kanakuk sticker on your car type of guy.
Yeah.
You definitely knew it was there. No,
I forgot that was there, legit. But
no,
yeah,
so
now that you say that,
the
I'm
year
wrong.
I was at camp, they did not print parking passes because it was the year right after the pandemic, and so they just, I don't know, people were freaking out over everything, but so they made us put the sticker on our car as a
like a parking pass.
parking pass.
Wow, that's I don't know about that. I think they just kind of want you to have some marketing.
Probably free. I mean, it's genius if that's
It
free
is,
marketing,
yeah.
But I did not have a parking pass the whole time.
Now, this is something we could talk about for a while. Car decals, like car stickers. Is that like a because my dad was like anti car decal. Like do
makes
either of
sense.
y'all's fathers have stickers on their car?
My dad has flags from every country he's done a mission trip in.
That's
Wow, how many flags is that? Is that like 400 or something?
Well, yeah, maybe it's not quite every country he's gone to. I think it's ones that were specifically impactful. I think he has 3 or 4 on his car. And then I think pretty much everyone in my family has a Sanford sticker somewhere on their car. I went with I wanted mine to sort of match and have like an aesthetic going on. So I get those white oval stickers wherever I go.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I put them all in one window.
Mm.
And I feel like that
And you have all your coffee shop stickers inside your car
inside
on your
of my
dash.
car, on my dashboard. And my rule with those stickers is I cannot put them on. I can buy them and get them, but I have to ask a friend to put it on there so that they have influence.
That's right. I put on the barista parlor one and one other one.
Yeah.
Wow, we just shouted up barista parlor. This episode is now sponsored by Barista Parlor, a coffee shop I don't think exists. I learned whenever I was there the other day that their barista is unionized. Do you know what Barista Parlor is, Griff?
No idea.
Very popular coffee shop in Nashville. Has been like for the past 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, big deal.
But they closed because their baristas were like mad about something. And then they unionized, and then they all quit together.
Wow.
So I think when I was there, none of them were operational.
Fascinating.
And I don't know if that means they like shut down or what, but there's a lot of coffee shops in that city now, like a lot.
I don't think I've ever been like in Nashville before.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like Dallas people love Nashville and vice versa.
I can't say I love it, but I can't say I hate it because I've never been. But I've always been like a Franklin, Brentwood, Tennessee kind of guy.
Are you is your family pro or anti car sticker?
That's a great question.
This is like would your parents get mad if you got a tattoo?
Yeah,
Would your dad be upset if you put stickers on your car?
I don't think so. I think they're not. I mean, the only one that has a sticker is my dad, and it's a Sanford sticker. So,
Oh, your dad has a Sanford sticker.
yeah, no Baylor stickers.
Wow.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Hey.
turned them over.
I'll say, go Dogs to that one.
Go Dogs.
Sanford. Anybody from Texas is like, oh yeah, Sanford's a lot like Baylor. I'm always like, yeah, but in the back of it, I'm like,
No.
Dude, not even close.
A lot of people make those comparisons. Like they say Covenant is similar or Mississippi College is similar, and they're just not. It's just not the same thing as Sanford.
Baylor's not as perfect as the world thinks it is.
I don't think the world thinks it is. I think Baylor people thinks the world thinks that Baylor's
Yeah, that's
Okay,
real.
maybe that's
real.
that's what I was getting after.
The only thing that I knew about Baylor before I went to college with people from Texas was Robert Griffin III. That was the only time I had ever even thought of it. I don't think I knew Baylor was in Texas. I just knew it was like in the big, whatever the conference is, the Texas Big 12. But that's fascinating. Robert Griffin III. I remember driving through Baylor for the first time. And this is how deeply I didn't know like what Waco was. Like I remember driving through Waco and seeing Baylor and seeing the football stadium on the river and being like, oh, like Robert Griffin III. That was like the only thing I thought about. And then we stopped and went to Magnolia and all the things. And it was fun.
Magnolia's all right.
I remember going into Magnolia and they have this like wiffle ball field in the like little courtyard with everything. It's like a full out, like think like your dream wiffle ball field if you were like a 7-year-old. It's like that size. It's probably the size of like a normal kind of like suburb front yard or something like that. But it's like looks like a baseball stadium. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, but besides that, like I remember walking around and being like,
It's just overpriced.
it's just a really huge section of that one section Target that every Target has.
Dude, talk about an empire though. Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know how
Raking
they
it in.
did it, but they did it.
they did the thing, dude.
I mean, the American dream is alive,
Dude,
I think they have
every woman from like 30 to 60 years old
like I don't know who they got their ideas
wraps
from,
stranglehold around their neck.
but like they are to blame for how fricked up the housing market is.
Yeah,
Because, like,
that's real.
Everyone flips houses now.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, talk about
They're
an
just like-
oversaturated market.
Yeah, I remember watching like whatever it's called, the flip or flop, and they'd be going around Waco buying houses for like $60,000, turning around selling for like 140.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And now it's like you can't live in Waco for less than like, I don't know how much a house in Waco costs, but it's like 10 times more expensive. Like
Yeah.
I watched one whenever I was at my mom's house for the first time and saw that she had like the Magnolia channel. I was just fascinated by it, so I wanted to go on that app and see it. And I watched a girl like my age spend, it was like $400K on a like studio in downtown Waco, like in a building.
That's nuts.
And I was like blown away. Like Waco isn't like a city.
Yeah.
It's like a very small town with like 2 skyscrapers, like maybe 1 skyscraper. It's not even a skyscraper. It's like just a
Like
old
one
big building.
10-story building or something.
Yeah. Anyways, just fascinating to me. Somebody would spend that much money to live like this urban life in a very like rural town. Whatever.
I wonder if people feel that way about Birmingham. Because you can spend $400K on a loft in downtown Birmingham,
You can.
and then it's not a big city.
It's not a big city at all.
Medium city.
It really is a weird thing. Like, one of my favorite pastimes is just in general, like looking at comments on posts on Instagram. Like that's one of my that's the funniest. I think that's the funniest. Like
Comments are funnier
like,
than the posts.
Yeah, like funniest comedic space in
Yeah.
our culture today is like that one.
Yeah.
Like someone just putting such a vulnerable thing out, and you can just openly make fun of
destroy it.
Yeah, and people do. That's actually wild. But one of the things that I think is the funniest comment section is when people post like real estate in Birmingham, and then people post comments like they'll post like a $1.8 million house in Hoover, Alabama, and people will be like, $2 million in Alabama over my dead body.
Yeah.
Because it'll go viral or whatever, and people in like other parts of the country will see
Yeah.
it, and they're like, no
They
way
don't
people
understand
spend
at
this
all.
much
Yeah.
money to live
Yeah.
in Birmingham,
That's
Alabama.
real.
Yeah.
But then there are literally townhomes for sale downtown for like $900,000.
But I was gonna say one of those was the post that I saw. Like it was
Yeah.
like 800. I think it was like 850K for one of the new ones that they built on like Morris Ave or
Yeah.
Rotary Trail, and they literally were like the comment section was just like, no freaking way.
But what's crazy is like Mountain Brook. I mean, there's $5 million houses.
There's
Like
5 million houses.
You can drive around and find those easily. You know, I saw a house for sale on Zillow the other day in Mountain Brook for $6,800,000.
Good Lord.
Honestly, like who the heck lives there?
Yeah. I wonder that when I drive around. When I drive past these like 11,000 square foot mansions, I'm like, who are you?
I would
Why
love to
are
know.
you?
If you live there, drop your name in the comments.
Can we come to your house and ask you why you live here?
We would love a
least-
house tour.
Yeah, like if you could spend $7 million to live anywhere in the world, why are you living in Birmingham? Like, not saying like I love Birmingham to death,
I do too.
but if you had that much money,
yeah.
like you could live in literally like the most beautiful area in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious. I would love to sit down. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I just would love to know their reasoning.
Same.
You know?
Yeah. I also I feel like I would cap out. I don't think I could spend that. Like I don't know if it's not necessarily the money, but it's the square footage. I would cap out at a certain square footage. I couldn't do 11,000 square feet is like an unbelievable amount of space, and I that's just a waste. I think I would probably cap out at like 4,000 or 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, I would almost rather like live. I mean, not necessarily like in the most populated area, but I guess that's what people are doing. Like in the more populated areas of Birmingham and Atlanta and like Austin and a lot of the cities that I'll go to, they'll buy a house, completely tear it down and rebuild like a custom built home on a really small lot just to be like in a neighborhood, like a small home in like an area that they like.
Yeah, people do that in Homewood all the time.
Yeah.
Buy these tiny little 2-1s and then build a 5-4.
Yeah, like you remember that show we watched on Netflix called 20 Somethings in Austin? You ever watched that?
Yeah, dude, that was a weird show.
They just like straight up put these 20 somethings, like just like post grads in. They just gave them free housing in Austin.
That was a
for
blip
like
in my
6
memories.
months, and they just like filmed them. It wasn't a dating show. It was just like
Just film their life.
literally, yeah. And they didn't. None of them got kicked out or anything like that. They even had like people help them find jobs in Austin. And
I would have done that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
really.
I mean, like, I think it was harder than just like wanting to. You had to like. Fill
I mean,
out.
I'm sure you had to fill out, but like,
Yeah.
if someone approached you about that,
It was weird.
Yeah.
I don't watch much reality TV, and so that was like one of the only reality TV shows I've
It was
watched.
so like normal and
Yeah.
realistic, I guess.
It was the least like crazy psycho group of people I've ever seen on reality TV. They were pretty average.
Especially in comparison to like Love Island. Like Love
Yeah.
Island people are insane.
That's most of my experience because of Cody Ko and Noel Miller.
real.
the goats.
I watched Love Island for the first time in college.
Mm.
That was truly one of the. It was season 3, and there was a dude on there. His name was like I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Lachlan, but it was something like that. It was like a super weird name, and he was just like, "I'm not religious. I'm spiritual," and that was like his entire identity. And I just remember like
Real.
that guy's personality. I feel like perfectly explains that show to me.
It's real.
Anyways, so Griff's our guest. We're gonna start hitting up some segments now, okay?
Perfect.
Welcome
Segment
to
number
Town.
1. Wait, segment number 1. We really value and respect our female audience on this show. And we know that there's only been guys on. And honestly, I'll go ahead and plug this. Last night, Gracie and I, whenever we got back from dinner, her and I just like put on the headphones and the mics. Like we didn't record a single thing, but we just acted like we did a podcast. It was hilarious.
That's fun.
And it was so good to have a girl's voice on here. But I asked her, I was like, if you had a preference, like if you had to choose a preference between like a girl host or a guy host on a podcast, what would it be? And she was like, I like guy hosted podcasts more. So I'm just curious. Girls out there, guys out there, what do you prefer? A girl host or a guy host on a podcast?
We'll make a poll and put it on Instagram.
I love that idea.
It's a great idea.
But one of the things that Grace and I were talking about where like we just get we get caught off on these like, conversations and we have no idea, but it's only interesting to guys or something. So the main type of podcast that the female demographic listens to is pop culture podcasts.
Okay.
PCP podcast.
Pledge class president.
Pop culture podcast. Panama City Beach.
No.
Panama City Peach.
Panama City Peaches.
There you go.
I love getting fruit on my way down to the beach.
That's
I'll
real.
say that.
Yeah.
Best mangoes I've ever had in my life.
Welcome to a new segment called Road Trip Snacks. Griff, what's your road trip snack of choice?
Okay. Like no one will understand that if I Sam really wants me to shout out Matthew Measures right now because he was his pledge class president. So for the 28 people that were in that pledge class, have a good laugh. Everyone else,
Matthew Measures is a cool guy.
he is a good guy.
Him.
Cool guy.
I know him.
Y'all kind of look alike. Y'all
do
could be
kinda
like
look alike.
brothers.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny because Caleb Measures, his older brother.
He kind of looks like, I don't know. Y'all
He's
could be
in my
brothers too.
he's in my little small group.
He's a good guy too. Shout out
good kid.
Caleb.
Yeah,
Wonder if Caleb will listen. Probably not. We'll see.
I hope so. I told them we're doing this.
Wow. How about? Oh yeah. I guess it's yeah. Anyways.
We might get 3 more listeners out of them.
All right. So the segment, pop culture. Today's pop culture headline. Jennifer Aniston said that hours before Matt Perry, passed away, they were texting back and forth. She came out in an interview with Reese Witherspoon talking about Matthew Perry because they were obviously both on Friends together.
Of course.
And I just thought that was fascinating. You have any thoughts?
That was fascinating. Do you know I was actually in 5-mile radius of where it all happened?
Whoa,
What?
I was in LA when it happened.
Wow, I've never put that
that's
together.
crazy.
Yeah. It was weird. Everyone was freaking out for some, not that, I don't know, but LA.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
celebrity culture.
Yeah. But I don't know, that's crazy.
It's wild.
Is that recent? Because I had read that they had texted back and forth before, but I never knew it was right before.
Well-
Was there ever a decision on how he died?
I have no idea.
They
I
said
knew he
drowning.
drowned, but I didn't know if it was an accident.
I don't know. Anyways, what? Cause of death is still pending. Cause of death. But anyways, I just thought it was cool. And apparently they were talking in that conversation, they were talking about how much better he was doing off of it. Because I think he was having was it a drug problem before that? Right. Yeah. Or a drinking problem before that.
It was something.
And that conversation, he was talking about how much better he was doing to Jennifer and how they were reflecting on how far he'd come and all this stuff. Just fascinating stuff. But that was whenever I Googled pop culture headlines, that was the first thing that came up today.
Wow.
It's sad.
Very interesting. I never was a Friends fan. I mean, I wasn't an anti-Friends person. I would watch it whenever I was on, but I never watched Friends all the way through.
We're so pro Seinfeld.
That's true.
That I feel like we become anti-Friends because I feel like those were competition.
Yeah, Friends was kind of the worst version of Seinfeld because Friends came out after
I'm a big
Seinfeld.
Friends guy, so.
I'm not saying
through.
if Seinfeld's the standard,
Fine.
everything's a bad version of Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
True.
I think it's fascinating. Courtney Cox, Birmingham gal.
Mountain girl.
I didn't even know that till this year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's pretty wild. Did you grow up not far from her, Samuel?
She's the kind of person who probably has one of those massive houses
For sure.
Mountain Brook.
Do you
Yeah,
think
she
actually
lives-
has a house here, or do you think
I bet
she's
she
just
does.
kidding
Her
herself?
house, her house is the one. When you're driving to 280, not to 280, to the Summit in the back way, and then there's a church right there called Philadelphia First Baptist.
Yeah.
To the left of that, there's a yellowish. I mean, it looks like a California house. That's her house.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
I've driven
That's
by.
wild.
When I used to live at the Summit, I probably drove by that house a lot.
all the time, man.
All the time.
Yeah, because you lived. I mean, you lived a
Unfortunately.
stone's throw from Courtney Cox
Wow.
Stone's throw.
and Calla. This episode's
that was
sponsored
before.
by Calla.
This episode's only
pre-Calla.
sponsored by coffee shops.
Do you know I've never been to Calla before?
That's crazy.
fine. That's
Did
fine.
you know that Calla is California and Alabama together?
Is it?
That's
It
why it's
is.
called Calla.
Man, now I need to go there.
Yeah,
You
it's-
love
it's
California.
You.
I
love
California
California.
and Alabama. It's literally you. It's made for you.
I just need.
Can we talk about how Sam Edens is reading Freedom of Self-Forgetfulness right now?
Producer
Wow.
Sam.
We're really
Just over
boring
here.
him. He straight up opened up a theology book.
I just
He's
want to give
focused.
a shout out to Sam making his first hole in one.
Dude, for real.
Wow. Big
Butler
deal.
Park Pitch and Putt, Austin, Texas.
He has not taken that hat off.
Number
since.
2.
We're gonna have Sam on to talk about his hole in one.
Sam almost holed out the next day, or not the next day, the Monday after, and 2 days after, and on number 2 at a golf course that we will remain undisclosed, which golf course it is, just for private reasons. But he and I were playing a scramble, and we had a approach shot about 80 yards, and he almost holed it out. And if he would have holed it out, that approach shot would have been a 20-yard further shot than his hole in one at number 2 at Butler Park.
See, like I don't want to like go into like make anybody upset, but I'm not sure I can count a hole in one at Butler Pitch and Putt.
Wow.
Whoa. Whoa.
No,
If you wanna count it, that's totally
to be
fine.
fair,
But
that
if it was me, I would not.
if that
I wouldn't
sunk,
be able to do it.
if that sunk at a like honestly, it's kind of like
So,
you
like,
remember when we were together one time. Griffin, we should tell this story actually. When we were playing Highland Park
Yeah.
that day, Griffin and I, we were like barely friends at that point, from what I remember. It was one of the first times you and I had hung out, like just me and you, for a long time.
Yeah.
We went and played a golf course in downtown. Favorite golf course, maybe ever.
Yeah, probably.
And Highland Park's such a good vibe. And then in the back 9, Griff was 6 over.
I was 8 over.
through 9. And Griff's like a
After-
very good golfer.
After Steven was hyping me up, and I bogeyed
It's a sneaky hard golf course.
bogeyed every hole, playing terrible golf, like borderline college golfers getting beat by Stephen Peacock.
You were not
almost.
getting beat, but it was close.
But I remember going onto the back 9, stopped and got a water or something inside. And I was like, golf is a crazy game. Like
Snickers and a Powerade was
Snickers
what
and
we
a
got.
Powerade.
Wow.
That's right. I was like,
Fuel.
everything can switch in 9 hole, or like from
You literally said that, yeah?
from hole 9 to 10 tee box, and
Did it switch
Yeah.
for
And
you?
then we did 10.
had the 9
So we did
holes
10,
of my life.
11, 12, 13. And so we're on hole 13. And it is a hidden par 4 that's like 255 yards.
Can you define a hidden par four?
I just
The
wanna-
green, you could not see the green from the tee.
I just wanna
It's
point
behind a
out-
tree, and it was like probably
The,
100 feet above our head.
The scorecard says 295.
Okay, well,
I gotta
you
give
could say
myself-
295, but there's absolutely no way that was 295.
I'm just saying, I cranked a 3-wood, and my 3-wood does
So
not go.
he hit the
250.
club below like the biggest club and hit it up under the green. And they had just cut back the tree that day to where there was like an opening available to get onto the green that's usually not there. And Griff hit it directly into that small opening, 295 yards away.
How small would you say that gap was? Because it was pretty small.
I mean,
For reference.
For reference, it would probably be like hitting it through, like the front of a small house. If it was, like I said, like 250 yards away from you,
Wow.
maybe like it was pretty, or like maybe the area of like a soccer goal. If it was 250 yards away. Yeah. I think that's a good way of putting it. And we walked up there, and I was in the sand trap, and you were on the other side of the green, and
I was searching through
you were searching.
high grass.
You like went past the hole to go search for it behind, and then I was like, Griff, check the hole. Mostly as a
Well-
joke, but also kind of.
Well, because we saw my like ball pitch mark was like
Oh,
15
yeah.
feet in front of the pin, and I was like, oh, it probably like pounded and bounced over the green. And Steven's in the bunker, and his head pops up, and he's like, dude, you checked the hole? And at that time, he's walking with his phone. I guess just like, I was like, there's no way it's in the hole. Like, why are you starting to record just in case? And I looked down, and
it was there
there's a Titleist number 3 just
In the hole.
in the hole. He had a hole in one on a par 4.
First one.
I would say
Unreal.
the second most rare shot in golf. Albatross is definitely, I feel like, the first most rare.
I mean,
but that's the same thing as an albatross.
It is an albatross, but like I feel like you have to pick one. You can't have a hole-in-one and an albatross in the same hole.
That's right. So he had albatross.
What did you pick? Did you pick hole-in-one?
I picked hole-in-one all day.
But it was insane. But people forget this. But on that same round, I chipped in from probably like 50 or 60 yards out. It was my longest hole out. And it was totally hidden. Like, I had no freaking idea that it went in until Griff was like, that went in. And I was like, shut up. And you were like, no, for real.
I forgot about that. Wasn't there like 2 holes later?
No, it was
was
the very
before?
beginning. Yeah, it was like on
How did you finish?
I shot 8 over on the front.
Uh-huh.
And I shot 8 under on the back.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the wildest round of golf I've ever seen.
That's crazy.
What's up, Sam?
Flop.
The odds of getting an albatross are 6 million to 1.
6 million to 1.
So what's the odds
12,500
of
one.
both of those happening? What are the odds of a par 4 hole-in-one?
Yeah. Little albatross hole in one. That's crazy. I honestly, and again, for anyone who's like not a golf person or like a sports person, like even the best golfers in the world, like there's a chance that like Tiger Woods has never had an albatross before.
Yeah.
I don't know that, but like
Pretty sure he has.
it's like a super, super, super crazy thing.
12 million to 1.
But
Yeah.
by
Or 6
that
million to
time,
1.
I had been playing golf for 16 years, and I had never seen...
You probably came nowhere close to hitting the ball 6 million times, and you still did it, which is insane.
I know, but 16 years is a long time without a hole-in-one.
But also,
It's just a numbers game. You just got to keep playing.
Like, my dad might be... Dad, if you're listening to this, I apologize, but you might be one of the worst golfers. Like, he's not terrible, but, like, he's not good.
Sure.
Ouch.
And he had 2 hole-in-ones in, like, his first 5 years playing golf.
Wow.
And he likes to rub that in my face.
My
but-
dad has never had a hole in one.
Wow.
Yeah, he said he's come within an inch.
Wow.
But he's never hit a hole in one. And he's played golf like a ton in his life.
There's only been one hole-in-one on a par 4 in the PGA, like in the history of the PGA Tour.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Only
very rare.
Like in a
hole-in-one in a par 4 in the whole history of the PGA
Yeah.
Tour.
But to be fair, par 4s in the PGA are like... They're not like
They're-
reachable.
they're
There are
like-
reachable par 4s,
They
but
have
like...
some short ones.
Yeah.
But, like, average, like, 370, 380.
Yeah. That's freaking nuts that you did that.
Here's
It was
a
wild.
question. So a long drive is probably like, what, 450, 500
No,
yards?
For a
a
regular
long
person?
drive is 330 yards.
For a regular person?
No,
the
for a
PGA
PGA. Well, I guess it depends.
Just like hitting your driver that long is really long.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
So
like,
if you hit like a 400-yard drive at Top Golf, does that equally not count the same way that a hole-in-one at Pitch and Putt?
Well,
considering the net
considering
at
the net
Topgolf
is
is
275.
it's,
Okay.
I don't even think it's that long. I think it's like 200.
Yeah.
If you can hit a Top Golf ball with a Top Golf driver 400 yards, I will quit playing this game.
Yeah, that ball cannot
There's
take
no
that
way that ball
impact.
can
I was
that
trying to
far.
come up with a comparison of like if Pitch and Putt hole-in-one doesn't count, then is
Okay, I'm not saying pitch and putt doesn't count like as a golf scene in general. I'm just saying if it was me, I wouldn't be able myself to count it as a hole-in-one.
It definitely is like
It's
a
got
hole
an
in
asterisk.
one.
It's got an asterisk. It's a hole-in-one, but it's got an asterisk next to it.
Yeah. But also like Eric Anderslang, the guy who like kind of made the whole thing like famous, Butler Pitch and Putt, and just golf in general, you know. He gets
he's
hole in
the
ones.
reason why golf
Not
is
Tiger
popular.
Woods.
Yeah.
Not
he,
Anderson.
he made like cool guy golf. I'm not gonna ever say that again. I actually wouldn't have said that. But he gets hole in ones at Butler Park Pitch and Putt because he plays all the time. He gets hole in ones there all the time. Like there's a
Very
sign.
repeatable.
There's a sign on the like in front of the first hole. It's like this. It's like a flip clock of like how many days since the previous hole in one. I've never seen it more than like 10 before. Because people get hole in ones. It was 2 days when you went. Yeah. So and I've hit the flag stick there twice, and I've never like it's just like
It's
the
just a
greens are
very
so good,
repeatable-
and yeah, it's
very repeatable hole.
When I was there, I was on hole number 8. Sam probably has the most memory of that hole. Hit the flat. Well, do they still have like that like mound of dirt to the right and stuff like that?
It's like 101.
Yeah. So my dad shanks it into the dirt directly right. Thought it was gonna go into like the street. I hit the flag stick and it bounces into the street
You're kidding.
across
on the other
street
side. Wow.
into Butler Park.
Yeah.
And so I was like, can I play that? So I waited to see if like cars were coming by.
Yeah.
So I went over there and hit it. Hit the flag again.
Wow.
Or like the flag, not the flag stick.
Yeah.
Made par.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
You know, I may not be that good at real life golf, but I am
Oh my gosh.
raw.
Weird.
I am savagely good at coffee golf.
Oh.
Speaking of Myers and sports, I think it's time for another segment. Myers Sports, my favorite segment of the day.
I love sports.
Myers, I read today. I was anticipating this. I read today that in 1987 in Welton, England, at some old Irish pub in downtown Welton, England, 4 guys, highly intoxicated, started wrestling one another like an arm wrestle with their toes instead. And the official sport of toe wrestling was invented that day. That same pub has hosted national championships, like global championships there every single year until 2021. I'm not sure why it ended at that point. Maybe that's just when the article stopped or something.
Sounds like a really stupid thing
But
to
they've
do.
had annual toe wrestling championships there for longer than that, 40 years. No, 87, 97, 07, 17. Yeah, no, 45 years. Isn't that crazy?
That's
It's not a sport.
something.
Why is that not a sport, Griffin?
Seems more like a game.
Yeah.
Like a drinking game.
Toe wrestling. So is having a thumb war a sport?
I mean, it's competition.
What do y'all think about those slapping
Slap
competitions? Yeah, like what?
That's a great question. What defines a sport?
Yeah, that is a good question.
Producer Jake, what is a sport?
I want to say if it's in the Olympics, but there are a lot of things that aren't in the Olympics that are sports.
That's true.
I feel like it's
Is
got to be. It's
skateboarding
got to be
a
like
sport?
Skateboarding is most definitely a sport.
It's got to be like a game that takes
Producer Jake.
like extra like.
An activity involving physical exertion and a skill that is governed by a set of rules or customs and often undertaken competitively.
Wow.
That's toe wrestling.
Toe wrestling might be
So it's a
considered a
game.
sport.
It is an activity that requires
The most popular sport.
exertion, physical
I
exertion.
would rather just call
governed by a set
toe
of rules.
wrestling activity with rules, not a sport. Or an activity with competition.
Whenever I visited Dushanbe, Tajikistan, there was a sport there. Wait, let me figure out a. There was a sport there called Buzkashi. It's an equestrian game. It's been popular. It's popular all over Central Asia, and everyone's on camels, and they are fighting for the carcass of a ram or a goat. The field is on a. I'm trying to think of this. The game takes place on a field measuring 400 yards long, 30 yards wide.
Holy cow!
That's
So
not very wide.
really long,
very
and
long
narrow.
and narrow.
And
With camels.
there are, like, in the pictures that I saw, there is an unlimited amount of people that can play.
Holy cow! So you could have like 100 people on this
Like
field.
in the pictures that I saw, there was like 1,000 people
Holy cow!
that were all on camels running around.
There's
And
not-
I don't really know.
Is it like every man for himself?
Yeah, the goal of each, there's teams. The goal of each team is to lift the carcass and throw it into their own net. As the carcass usually weighs up to 40 kilograms and must be snatched up while galloping During the 15-minute game, each team tries to score more points than their opponent. In the fight for the carcass, certain rules must be followed. A player cannot push the ulak or the carcass off its opponent's horse, or grab it off the back of his opponent, while the one who seizes their carcass is not allowed to tie it to his saddle. So I guess you just have to like make it fall off in another. You can't snag it though. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
Very fascinating. That was the most popular sport in Tajikistan.
The most popular?
Yeah.
More than like soccer.
Well, I think it was like weird because it was almost like tradition. Like, you know how like the most popular sport in Alabama isn't football, it's college football.
Yeah.
It's like kind of the same thing. Like the most popular sport in Tajikistan is for sure like international soccer. Like it's just because it's modern and they're like competing against other countries and stuff. But the most like
entry is lower. You don't have to have your own camel.
yeah, but the most popular sport, like the most like the biggest cultural sport in Tajikistan, like the one that they care about the most is buzkashi. Fascinating.
Imagine
bro.
turning the Olympics on in the summer and seeing that.
This is so entertaining. Like this is
Wow, Jake has it pulled up.
They're on horses. They're not on camels.
I bet
Okay.
the camels is way slower.
There's like I was reading that there's like new rules. If Kendra's listening to this, I need her to like. Oh, wow,
my
there it is.
gosh, dude.
This
I
dude
need-
just like dove into this.
I need Kendra to like
his
let me
body
know.
on the line.
Kendra's my friend who lives there full time, and I need her to like figure out, tell me like what the name of the sport that she went to was. But they had camels, and from my understanding, it was in a big, like a huge round area. Like it wasn't like a whatever you call it, like a ruler kind of 400 by 30.
Interesting.
But anyways,
I'll see if our editor
Similar
can-
idea, though.
I'll see if our editor can insert a clip. I don't know if he knows how to do that.
Editor Miles.
Miles, sorry. I said that wrong.
Oh man.
Hey Griff, tell me about your fashion influences.
My fashion influences, man. It's a great question.
This is our new segment called "Tell
Fashion
Me About Your
influences.
Fashion Influences."
I mean, I like to think that I have decent fashion, even though I'm single.
What do you think? Only people with girlfriends and wives and husbands people who are hitched are the only ones with fashion?
Well, I just wanted.
I would argue that people who are married have worse fashion.
I just wanted Steven to be able to press that button because I've always been waiting.
Yeah. Yeah, and you wanted to let the audience know that you're available.
Yeah,
Sure.
Very.
Because we do have a large population of females listening.
No.
And if you're watching on YouTube, I mean,
And
here he is.
on Spotify.
And on Spotify.
That's true. I just wish I didn't have a bald head. I don't know. I never really like cared about what I wore growing up.
Interesting.
I was a shorts, Nike Elite socks, hoodie kind of guy. If we could wear hats in school when I was younger, I'd probably have a baseball hat on. But I think the more I stopped caring about what everybody else thinks and what I thought was really cool, that's like when I started like wearing. But I like style wise, is that what you're asking? Like what do I?
Yeah, where do you get your inspiration for your clothes?
I really like. Man, that's I've never been asked that question before.
It is kind of hard. Like, I can think of brands I like.
Yeah. If
I
I'm
can
trying to think of
of-
like a person, this is going to sound weird, but I feel like I get a lot of there's this professional basketball player. His name's Jordan Poole. And I just think he has the sickest style. Like, perfect. I just think he has the sickest style. Like I'm a big Birkenstock guy.
Yeah.
And he pulled up before a game and he was just wearing like some Carhartt like work pants and a hoodie and Birkenstocks, and like people raved about it, and I was like, I wear that.
Yeah.
Which is like when I started to learn like what's really cool isn't what people are like raving about. It's like what you like to wear. And like I think a lot of mine is like comfortability. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Comfortability.
Comfortableness.
Like no one wants to wear stuff that like doesn't feel good on
Yeah.
your body. But I don't know. I think like Jordan Poole, Ronnie Feig, Jacob McClendon.
Shout out to producer Jacob McClendon,
Producer Sam, too.
friend of the podcast.
Sam's got good style, man. But yeah, what's your when you say what brands you like what brands would, like, if I were to ask you, Myers, what is the top 5 brands you either take inspiration from or wear the most?
I don't really wear most of these brands because most of them are too expensive for me, you know?
That's fair.
Like, one of my favorite brands is Jound.
Yeah.
And, like, I have 2 of their T-shirts.
Okay.
But a pair of sweatpants from Jound is like $225 or something like that.
Wow.
It's
For
not...
just a normal pair of pants.
Yeah, it's not in my price range right now. But probably, like, I really like Jound as far as, like, very base, essential... pieces. They do a lot of solid color stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of loungewear that I think is pretty
They've
nice.
got shoe collaborations too.
They've done a lot of cool shoes. I've
Specifically with New Balance.
I've never gotten any of their shoes. The next brand I was going to say is Aimé Leon Dore, which these are.
I'm a big fan. Big fan of them.
New Balances.
Big ALD guy.
Yeah, again, pretty expensive.
I wouldn't say they're not as expensive as Jound is, though, right?
No, I don't think so.
I feel like they're pretty fairly priced, fairly priced for what they are.
I'm just like I thrifted pretty much my whole wardrobe, or received them as hand-me-downs from like grandparents and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So spending any money on clothes brand new is like too much for me.
That's like, I think that's where I got stuck. Not to cut you off, but I think that's where I got stuck when, like, you were asking where I get my like style from. Like, could I just say like Goodwill?
Yeah,
like,
I shop at thrift stores to emulate from other influences.
Yeah,
if
like,
that makes sense.
Now, like, pants and stuff is hard. I'm a tall guy, so like finding pants that fit, if I could in Goodwill, I would. But
I also struggle with pants. Most of my pants I end up having to just go to Target and buy or something like that.
Yeah,
but I mostly wear black pants.
This is gonna sound very mainstream of me, and I don't want you to think differently about me, but Abercrombie's got some good pants, man. They're expensive, but like,
I think with pants, you just have to find something that fits. People's bodies are so different that you just kind of have to find pants that fit, and then everything else you can kind of have some
they've just like
leeway with. I think.
I don't know. They look nice. They're comfortable.
Yeah.
They aren't short, too short. Even though I'm a big, I don't like my pants touching my shoes. I don't know if that's just me, but
I roll pretty much all my pants because same.
Yeah, but like most of my like closet is thrifted shirts, crew necks, stuff like that.
I like Aimé Leon Dore has some really cool. They do a lot of layers and stuff, especially in their winter and fall collections.
Yeah,
and so that's where I get a lot of inspiration for how to style my clothes.
I think I have a couple. I think I have like 2 crew necks from them.
Yeah, I also there's a certain like niche of these like tiny design boutique houses in LA. Mm-hmm. So there's like Museum of Peace and Quiet. I really dig.
Okay.
Period Correct is this guy. I don't know what his background is, but he started this little boutique that's the same kind of thing, but it's focused on cars.
Okay.
So they make like cool styled clothes that are targeted at car people, and they've done some cool collabs with like car manufacturers like McLaren, or they worked with Hot Wheels.
Okay.
But they'll do like crazy cool vintage picture of a rally car from the 1970s on like a black t-shirt, and that's
sick.
it. So I really like cars, but car brands don't tend to have good looking clothes and merchandise and stuff. And so Period Correct kind of bridges that gap and brings in like a cool modern sense of style and taste with cars. So I have a lot of stuff from them.
Kind of segueing off the cars and fashion, are you into F1 at all, either one of you?
Mildly.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna turn away from Steven. You said mildly.
So I know most of the field of drivers. I know pretty much all the teams.
Okay.
What I get caught up in is, and my thing with sports is, I don't really love when you have to know a lot about the sport to like get
Enjoy
into it. Like I don't care about all the politics.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I can't get behind like a lot of college football and stuff like that, is because there's all these rivalries and I don't really feel like learning the history of all of it. And so that's where I struggle with F1 is most of F1 is just knowing about the politics about who drives what and how he switched around from this team to that team. And
well, it's good this has nothing to do with that. Alpine or Alpine. They recently did a team uniform. I'm going to call it uniforms. I don't know what. The jacket.
I think it's called a uniform.
Suits,
team uniform
with Kappa and Palace.
Interesting
For the Vegas race. And
very fitting.
It might be the coolest thing I've ever seen on a race car driver.
It's fascinating. Palace is a skateboarding company.
It is a skateboarding company.
And they made a race car uniform.
They did. I think technically their race suits are Alpine All Stars, something like that, whatever it's called. But yeah, Palace and Kappa did a collab.
Really cool, actually.
Wow.
It was like gray camo, and then Alpine's like main sponsor is BWT. I don't know what that is, but it's something, and it's like baby blue and pink. So the color combination was just
That's sick.
Well, I have pulled up right here, GQ.com, top male fashion trends of 2023. You want to hear these?
Can we go from bottom to top?
Can we also clarify? Is this individual like pieces of clothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one, first one.
Should we try and guess some of them?
Like number 10, or just
Just like
It's
throw
not
out, like,
ranked.
3 things that you think are going to be on there. I think like Boston's
are definitely on there.
are definitely
Okay.
on there. I think cargo pants are probably on there.
Okay.
I think like work jacket, Carhartt jacket.
Right. Let's see. So the first one is sleeker trenches, like trench coats.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably definitely true if you include Europe into this. I do not think that's true for America.
Definitely not true here.
Maybe in New York, Chicago, Boston, but definitely not down here.
I have a trench
over
coat, and
west.
I struggle to wear it down here.
Yeah, one of my friends wore a trench coat this past weekend, and I was like, I still just like, I don't know, maybe I need to get over it and just understand that might be like a fashion trend.
Yeah.
But it just looks weird, like down,
It feels
like it's not
I feel
that
like I'm
cold.
wearing a costume when I wear it.
A little costume vibes. But anyways, zip up hoodies. That was definitely like a huge trend this year.
Wow.
I'd never ever wanted to be a part of it, but
No.
I did cop that UAB one that Griff gave me, and I wore that. That's not really the same.
It's
The other one was
Is it before you go on, zip up hoodie?
yeah,
full zip or just
Full
any
zip.
Is
Okay.
that the same as this, but it's a zip?
Yeah.
a zipper on the
Interesting.
middle. Yeah, which is definitely like a girl trend. I don't think that was a guy trend.
I
this
wore
year,
those
in my
like
opinion.
2012. Like that was a thing. Like the zip up jacket was a thing, when we were younger, like early teens. And I still probably see that as not stylish because I remember wearing it when I was 13.
Do you remember, like, one quick tangent about that? Do you remember the zip-up jackets that, like, went all the way into the hood?
Yeah. Yeah, those
Dude,
were pretty terrible.
Those were not a look.
Yeah.
Those were sick.
As he's eating a Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
Those Pop-Tarts hidden. All right, the next one is fleece beanies. Like
Beanies.
Fleece.
Really?
yeah, think like a Patagonia like teddy bear jacket.
Yeah.
But a beanie.
Wow.
Interesting.
again,
I've never seen
those.
that.
Never saw that this
Yeah.
year. I don't know where GQ is getting like the trend is a big word for
is.
stuff as niche as this is. The next one, tanks like wife beaters.
Yeah,
I
I've seen that.
definitely saw that more this year.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not really here in Birmingham, I don't think, but I saw it just generally.
Yeah. Capital D dress pants. So like you know, like slacks. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
like
like
pleated
fat,
khakis.
like big baggy slacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a pair
bought
of
a pair of
Dickies
those.
that are kind of like
With some
that.
loafers.
Yeah. Or like
Not my
Docs or
style,
something like
but
that.
I appreciate it.
I can get behind it. The next one, flip flops.
Oh, my God.
He pulled this up just
Listen
to
to
talk
this.
about
Your
flip-flops.
slides hit a great run. Flip flops, the final frontier in so bad it's good fashion, are really truly cool again.
They're not cool.
Wow.
Can we get a poll in this room? Like,
Wow.
GQ really doesn't. This is probably coming.
There are 5 people in this room. How many people here are in favor of flip-flops?
Wow, Jake.
Wow.
Okay, I didn't think that you would be.
3 to 2.
Given my like
Dude, he wears Chacos though.
Dude, Jake gets so, I love how like annoyed Jake gets with this. Not like frustrated, but just like, bro, come on. Are we actually?
I'm
just messing with you, man.
I hate flip flops.
I hate them too.
I can't get behind it. I can't.
Just think of like, you know when you're like wearing socks, right? I know you don't wear socks with flip flops, but like, and you feel something in between your toe that you can't get out.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like wearing flip flops.
I've never liked them. I had them when I was growing up, and I never wore them. I
Blisters
just
on
didn't
your toe,
like it.
like it's not.
And the
fun.
noise,
Yeah,
the
like
noise of flip flops.
Yeah, flip flops are an onomatopoeia.
Stop talking.
I mean, they truly are, though.
I mean, you could say that about a lot of things.
Yeah,
that has
every
nothing
single.
to do with the style of flip flops.
They got divorced. That flipper flop couple.
Wow.
Shocker. There.
So it flopped.
But anyways, I just thought it was hilarious that flip flops were on this list.
They do not deserve to be on that
The next
list.
one, boxy bombers.
Could you say a Carhartt jacket?
Yeah, I think that falls underneath
that's-
that. I
yeah.
also think that like maybe falls into like the whole Kanye West Gap jacket, maybe.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking maybe it could lean into chore coat vibes.
Okay, silk scarves.
No.
This
Not for guys.
this list is
That's a no.
what in the world? Maybe
Where?
this list is like in.
Where?
Hey, I will
Italy?
say maybe this
Coast
is
of Italy?
like
Paris.
Europe
Yeah,
GQ
Paris
or something.
Fashion Week. Maybe this is from like
This
literally
is
Paris
gotta
Fashion
be
Week.
Europe.
Hey, honestly, defused button ups like the Oxford button downs, like the oversized ones. Whenever I was in New York, a ton of dudes were wearing
Yeah.
Is
those.
this like the vertical
Yeah.
striped ones?
Yeah.
Like-
no, I do that look with I have some button downs that should be tucked in, but I don't tuck them, and then I wear the baggy pleated Dickies.
Heck yeah.
Like this vibe right
And
here.
then I'll roll them and do this kind of thing. Yeah. I've done that look. That's what like Tucker Vines does that look.
Tucker does it all the time.
Yeah. Shout out
I think
Tucker.
the, I
He'll
think the
be on.
last time I saw Tucker, he was wearing that.
Yeah.
Loafers or the next one.
Yeah.
That was another thing. Whenever I was in New York, there was this one brand I couldn't remember, like maybe Bass or something, but they had these like loafers that are genuine. They're like $600, and a ton of dudes were wearing them whenever I was up there.
Yeah.
Blazers. I don't think that's a new trend.
No.
Tucked in everything. Again, I don't know if that's a new trend.
No.
Maybe up north, northeast.
And yeah, literally
Birkenstocks.
Boston's were not new.
Would you consider that a loafer though? Is that what they're?
No, loafers we're talking about like penny loafers.
Gotcha.
No.
It's interesting. Maybe maybe that's like a last year thing. Maybe that's not a this year thing.
Maybe.
Well, me and Sam Edens are bringing it back for.
Well, I don't think it left.
Yeah, I don't think it's going
Apparently,
away.
if it's not on GQ,
Gracie's
It is
asking
kind
for
of
them for
funny.
Christmas.
It is funny
Totally.
how they come in waves, you know? Like, I've kind of wanted Boston for probably 2 years, and then I got, like, some basically the same thing, but different brand.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't never find... I asked for Boston's 2 or 3 years in a row for Christmas, and I could never find the color that I wanted. I got a pair. They were, like, a lighter tan, and I just didn't dig it. But now it's like really full force.
Dude,
Like-
my sister-in-law-
like everybody has Bostons now.
My sister-in-law, I'm not even joking you, when she went to Italy this summer, got a custom leather pair of Bostons. They were not Birkenstocks. They were like handmade by an Italian man.
Wow.
She was
That's
like, this
kinda-
was my like bougie gift I got in
That's sick.
Italy.
Well, so this was my first time meeting her. And I was
Ellie.
here.
That's right. Yeah.
Met
We talked
Ellie.
about that when you were
And I
here.
was like, Ellie, I like your Bostons, and she like whipped around. She's like, these aren't Bostons, and I was like,
Flex.
so are they fake? And she's like, no, they're better. And I was like,
she was like super ashamed at first, but I think they're sick.
no,
they're like
sick.
they're like a dark brown. They look like they're gonna last for like 50 years.
Yeah.
yeah, she had like,
Yeah, I
she's-
think if I had a ton of money, I would dress the same way. But
Just
everything
nice.
I have is gonna be like handmade.
yeah, like I think you can tell like going back on like fashion.
Mm-hmm.
My parents get at me like, oh, you spend too much money on this and that, and I was like, well, one, I take care of it. Two,
Yeah, bro.
Two is like, I feel like when you pay for something, you're getting quality back in like how much you pay for it. Am I right?
Yeah. Hey, you get what you pay for.
Yeah. And so I don't know.
And you can't hide money,
Oh man.
Can't hide money.
especially when you look at Griff's feet, bro.
Can't hide money.
You can't put it away.
Oh my gosh. You could tell, I don't know how much Ellie spent on those, but you could tell they were high quality just because one, they looked broken in already, and she said she had barely worn them.
Yeah.
I feel like is that pretty synonymous with fashion in general? Like,
I mean, I don't know. Like the only pair of leather shoes that I bought that are expensive in my life are like soccer cleats. I got like kangaroo leather boots, as we call them, or cleats, and
I feel like you need to say that in a British accent.
It got some boots. But no, genuinely, like they feel unbelievably good when you wear them in. Like it's crazy how much better they feel than like synthetic anything else.
I
like that's happening. Like I have a pair of Puma Kings right now, which are just Puma's version of K leather cleats. And they stopped doing kangaroo leather this year, so that's why I bought a new pair. And they're like 6 months old, and they feel unbelievably better than they did. And I had like a few pairs in high school and stuff whenever I was like big into soccer. But anyways, that's the only like time I've ever gotten like high end leather made like shoes with soccer cleats, and they feel unreal. Like whereas Vans, by the time you break them in, they're literally like your toes are poking through them. Yeah, or
you get through the blisters of breaking them in, and they're broken in, and then you start getting blisters because they're broken.
They break in. Yeah. Or honestly, Blundstones too. Blundstones, Jake's wearing them right now. They feel amazing when you break them in.
My Blundstones are well loved.
Yeah, I kind of love mine. Tucker, speaking of him,
style.
We have Tucker on. He would be a great guest. But Tucker has a pair of black Blundstones, and his toes, like when he was living in New York, he wore them every day, and literally like they ripped in half, like his soles like came off. Which like that's crazy for Blundstones. Yeah. But he definitely wore his in up there. Had to walk around the whole city.
I think I'm like my fourth winter into my Blundstones. They're still going. They're a little dirty. I did some yard work in them.
You did yard work in your in your apartment complex?
No, we worked on that house for your dad.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shout out Shane. Can't wait to have him on.
Shout out Jeremiah 2911 Investing.
Jeremiah 2911 Real Estate Investment Firm LLC. Anyways, hey Griff, this was a good time, man.
Dude, yeah.
I enjoyed this a ton.
Flew by.
Yeah, this was. I mean, I think looking back at the episode. Oh, that was supposed to be a smoother transition. Anyways, looking back on the episode, covered some cool things. Where it is, we didn't talk about photography at all.
It's fine.
Griff is a photography videographer for so many different things, mainly UAB because that's his employer, but also he's shot for the likes of Baylor, Georgia, NCAA, like several NBA players. I mean, lots of really cool things going on, and
a nice CV.
Yeah,
nice
and he's starting to get more and more.
You forgot to mention yourself
and me. That's what I was about to say. He's starting to get more and more into lifestyle.
Yeah.
Hence his intro video to this very podcast he's sitting in and talking to and talking on.
Yeah.
All the prepositions.
Thank you, Griff, for making that.
Yeah. Shout out Griff.
When did I make that?
What are you talking about? Whenever the one that you told me was gonna be a coffee documentary and then ended up being an introduction or like a promo for this podcast.
Oh yeah, I did make that.
Oh, we got a new song here. Shout out Dayglow. But anyways, I wanted to plug you. If you ever need anything done, I mean, Griff's your guy. Video, audio wise, AV wise,
and photo.
And yeah, I just said audio.
Specifically
audio visual wise.
Specifically film photography.
Film photography, yeah. And
got a lot of
maybe the future. We don't know what the future holds, but it might be Los Angeles, it might be Austin. So if you're out there listening to this, which you're probably not if you're listening to this.
Steven wants me to stay in Birmingham. But.
That's right, man. We're going to open up Breakfast Club. Also, my wife's about to walk in the door. Hey, Gracie.
You got to hit the button.
Welcome home.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, guys, thanks for being on. Thanks for being on, Griffin. Gracie's going to walk in front of the camera now.
Thanks, Gracie.
Thanks for being on, Griffin. This was a great time.
Dude, pleasure.
We talked about so many cool things. We talked about fashion, sports. Talked about Bashuzga or whatever it was called. Talked about golf. What was the first thing we talked about? Talked about F1.
Did talk about F1. What did we talk about?
It doesn't matter. We talked about a lot of good things.
They know.
They do know.
We put in the effort.
Yeah. Miles will know later.
All right, guys. Well,
thank you for listening, everyone.
We're
Word of mouth. Listeners.
Wom.
Episode 4. Wom.
I think that's my favorite thing.
Wom.
Wom is sick.
All right, guys.
Wom. We out.
Wom.
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 Secret segment.
Welcome to the secret segment of Word of Mouth, where we talk about secret things that were not talked about in the normal segment of this podcast. All right. One secret thing I want to talk about. Griff, how's it being a 24-year-old single guy living alone?
24.
Yes.
Wow.
How old are you? 23?
22. I'm
22.
almost 23.
Okay.
So, I'd love someone to buy me a birthday gift or something.
Buy you birthday gift.
Jordan year.
Birthday
How's it being a
gift.
single guy in Birmingham?
Yeah.
I mean, when you have great friends, it's not that bad.
That's a good word, actually.
But
Dude, that's what I feel right now
But-
from you.
it's still lonely every now and then. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a date in my horizon.
There's a
Whoa.
date in the horizon.
Whoa.
Wow.
There's a baddie.
We can
on
we
her
can talk
way.
No.
we can talk about it. We can talk about it right now on air in the secret segment. And if she waits till the end of the secret segment, wow.
Wow.
What a story that could be.
Wow.
That would be crazy.
Talk about what?
Okay.
All right.
Heard. We're not going to talk about it.
No, you can talk
Anyways.
about it. I don't care.
Thank you for coming to the secret segment. This is the end of the podcast.